What is happening, y'all? Cowboy here, and welcome back to the walkthrough. So in this episode, we're going to be tackling 3 different subquests. First, we're going to cover Imagawa Diehard, and we're going to sprint on through an error in calculation and Hideyotatsu's Dying Wish. Now, as a reminder, this is probably a good time to level on up some stuff, so I've already gone ahead and just put on some new stuff in my inventory. I also went ahead and soul matched our Demon's Axe using a soul core, so that's up at 36. And then just as a friendly reminder, after you've done all that, go to disassemble and break everything down. You can see I'm up to 313 item capacity. Now I'm back down to a nice healthy 57. So important to break down so you don't get filled up on room. Now we're going to do the Imagawa Diehard mission first, because this is actually the mission I would suggest farming him on for his smithing texts. Now I mentioned this at the end of the last video, but there's quite a few texts he drops. He has a corrupted plans for katana, hatchets, dual blades, switchglaive, and also all the pieces of the Golden Boy set. Now there are 2 enemies in particular that we need to kill on this level, but there are quite a few, so we're going to go ahead and nuke everything we can. The ninjas in particular, usually I won't bother shooting something that many times, but I do think it's important when it comes to the ninjas, because these guys have a attack where they'll basically run at you and suicide bomb, and it is not fun to get hit by. In fact, if you get hit by it, it's usually a death sentence. Like where my health is at right now, I would 100% die from that attack. I'm gonna pop you off, and there should be one more ninja. No, not a ninja, this guy. So, these 2 enemies, this axe guy and that guy, these are the only ones that we actually have to kill here. Everything else, it's not considered, you have to kill them to get to the boss, but these 2 enemies in particular are considered required. What I mean by that is there is a fog gate blocking your entrance to the boss, and we want to kill these clowns to get rid of that gate. Let's get up here. I think we are all good. Just scanning to make sure there's no other ninjas hiding around that I have missed. I don't see any, and we'll pop him off and kill him. Now, very quickly, I want to touch on resetting bosses for farming smithing texts. Now, as a reminder, when it comes to farming smithing texts, I'd highly suggest you just wait until New Game Plus, unless there's one you're really, really desperate for. For me, for example, it would be Obsidian Samurai. That's the one text I'm going to farm. Now, as you can see, there's no boss fog. So, if I was to create a save state, I could fight the boss, quit the game, and then refight the boss as many times as it takes to get the smithing text. If I was to go right here and pray at the shrine, it would create a save state. Now, what I mean by that is all the enemies we just killed, they're going to respawn, except the guy that was right here and the big axe guy, the ones that were generating that fog gate, they're not going to respawn. So because of that, if I were to rest right now, I could sprint on in here with Tiger running, fight the boss. If I don't get a smithing text, I could hit start, go to system, return to title screen, and it would reload the save to where I was at the shrine right before I killed him. You can do that as many times as it takes if you're trying to farm a rare drop from a boss. We're not going to be doing it right here because he doesn't have any smithing texts that I need. Did I ever pick up Lumber Chop? Let's see here. I did not. Maybe I'll pick that up next. It's usually a rather gimmicky ability, but for, in particular, if you down an enemy and hit him with a final blow, charging up a Lumber Chop is actually pretty hilarious, because when they stand up, you just whack them in the face for massive damage. Now, another thing I want to touch on is when it comes to getting hot springs, you don't need to get them twice. For example, in an error in calculation, we're essentially rerunning through the hidden monsters of Okehazama. If I look at this mission, though, I can see it already says the hot spring has been used. And when the game talks about using all the hot springs, it's essentially referring to whether or not you found every hot spring in the game. So hot springs and submissions also count as the same hot spring that you had knocked out in the main mission, if it's a similar layout, which this one is. So we're just going to be hauling ass through this one. There's no special locks or anything on this mission in particular. Just, getting to the end and doing a boss fight. So, well, not really a boss fight, it's a yokai. Bunch of angry yokai. And, nope, that's my turn. We go right this way. Not what I meant to do, but oh well. And I'll go ahead and pick up Lumber Chop. So how it said replace it high stance, if I was to go over here in skill customization, go to X, now I have Lumber Chop in my high stance, whereas I have Mad Spinner and then Rumbling Earth for my other stance moves. So go over this way. We are going to pick up the Hot Spring buff anyway, just because it's nice to have. That is right back through this back direction, as you may or may not remember. Get out of my pool! This is my pool. Oracle needs gotta get that nice hot spring, get the muscles all relaxed. Alright, so you can either do either approach here. The point is we need to get back into the cave. This way is a little bit easier, I think. But either way works. Oh, that is not good. So right there, what I did to help evade that, that was very much a, like, I might have or I might have not. But essentially, knowing that I got paralyzed, I put myself into low stance, and then I held back and I just spammed dodge as much as possible. And essentially, I was hoping that I'd be able to get off a dodge before that grab attack connected, and thankfully I was able to. And hey, an umbrella core. That's another achievement that's going to be kind of a tricky one to get. There's actually an achievement for getting every single soul core in the game. I can pick this up. Is he not going to hit the thing? He's not. We're about to be cheesy. I can't believe he ran up there. Usually he won't. Usually he'll hit the he'll hit that thing and cause it to come at you, but that is pretty funny. If you're looking at my radar, you'll notice a red dot. That's because I have an enemy sensor perk on a piece of gear. It'll essentially show you where enemies are as you're progressing through areas. Nice little perk to have. Wouldn't consider it necessary, but if it's something that you think is really nice, later on, there's actually going to be a guardian spirit that you can get that'll have access to Kodama, Amrita, treasure, and enemy sensor. So essentially it's going to show every single freaking thing on your minimap for you, which can be pretty convenient. And then to boot, it's actually one of the better guardian spirits in the game because it has a stance-based Amrita absorption bonus, which can be pretty damn good, especially with something like high stance. So you may remember this room from earlier. This is the one that had the Yankee that we waited for, that we like came all the way around and then plunged him. And it's same setup here. We just got to kill this guy right down there, big ugly. Kill the Wyra, and then we're all done here. Oh god, no. That worked out well enough. Now the one thing I want to say is I'm not sure if it's 100% drop rate on this, but every time I've killed this guy, I've gotten a Wyra Soul Core, which is actually really, really nice. You essentially burrow underground and then pop back up and do an attack. But what's nice is while you're burrowed underground, you can completely avoid any damage. So it's a really useful ability in the sense that you can use it to avoid boss mechanics, stuff that you're not good at dodging. We're just running through and picking up some loose loot now that the mission's done. But once again, this is all random loot. None of this is like a guaranteed drop or anything. It's just, you know, extra fun goodies that we're trying to get. Seeing if we get anything. As a reminder, on side missions like this, we're obviously not concerned with hitting 100% of everything because it's all random. So, strictly keeping it to the stuff that's important, like locks and all that. I think that's about it. I'm sure there's a couple other pieces, but we got what we came for. Got a Wyra Soul Core, picked up a couple purples. I think we're set. Let's go on and hit the thing and end the mission. We got the Dark Realm chests. Those are the big things. All right, we got one more side mission to knock out. Hidetatsu's Dying Wish. This is another easy one. No special loot on this one. If I can fit you over my aberrant. I cannot. Not even close. It's been a while though. You know, let's take a look, see what we have on that I could fit in. So Yatsu no Kami, that stays on 100%. It's an amazing soul core. Alternatively, I could run Mr. Umbrella, Enki, or an Enki. I think I'll take one of these minus attunement cost Enkis. Let's see, you have Amrita earned, you have luck in Yokai shift, you have equipment drop rate. So we're going to take the level 24 Enki, and then we are going to go to manage and soul fusion. Take him, and we're gonna hit. Oh no! So he also has inheritable. I want attack. So we're gonna take the 2 attack ones. Take attack last. And he's barely getting, he's not getting any XP for this, really. So your levels, when you do this, you can actually level stuff up, but you're going to see very, very minimal gains for quite a while. Like, let me see. If I was to take this Ippon Datara, for example, and take a level 28 here. Yeah, I'm not even getting anything. So end game, I've been able to, using level 160 cores, I've been able to get the levels up, but as you can see early on, I mean, taking a 28, a 25, and a 20, this guy's still going to be level 15. So early on, at least, you're going to be better off just, finding a higher level soul core. But anyway, on to this one. This is another pretty straightforward mission. We just got to get through and get to the end, and we get a couple of free parts of the Pit Viper set. Not a great set, but it's not bad. And either way, we got to knock out the mission for the sake of the trophy. So now, this mission is all about just getting to the end. I'm going to kill a couple of guys just to get Amrita and probably burn our way through it. Let's see. Let's extend our Yokai shift further. And in Omyo, we're going to keep working our way up towards that. Close to a level, so I was hoping to get the level. There's a quick look at what Lumber Chop is capable of doing. Him for now. Kill this guy from behind. We're essentially trying to take that path and get up. Killed a majority of the junk here. Come on. I'm not dealing with you and archers. Followed. Rebuff this. There's our level. Look at that, a beautiful 40 stamina. Just going to keep on building up that primary stat. It's one of the great things about Axe. There's really, I mean, unless I need to meet stat requirements for gear, I just keep building and keep building and keep building and keep building. Careful, they don't always explode, but when they do. Oh boy, you hit really hard. Oh, that was my own fault. I hit the button for elixir, and then I went and hit my Yatsu no Kami, and I did not let the elixir go off before I executed a Yatsu no Kami, so kind of screwed myself on that one. Unfortunately, this is still just a Yoki Soul Core. Even though it is a different looking Yoki, it's still just a Yoki. So regardless of if the Yoki is using a Katana or the Yoki is using a Dual Blades or Kusarigama, they're all just going to be Yoki cores, which will be the same standard Yoki moveset that we have on all the Yoki cores. So. And that knocks out that one. So, with the triple set of side missions knocked out, we are ready to continue on with Act 2. Act 2. Damn it, Donkey, what are you doing here? Just to take a look at the set, for those curious, to discuss it briefly. So we have active skill key consumption down by 5%, not terrible. Decent boost to ki, 6% melee damage for Shokai, and auto life recovery. So that auto life recovery, it's not going to be a very big heal. It's very minimal. In fact, I'd say it's maybe along the same lines as resting at a hot spring. It might even be a little bit less. So not something to really build up towards. But if you have a couple pieces, I mean, extra 6% damage on Yokai certainly isn't going to hurt you. But it's not something I would, focus on building out. So either way, we're going to wrap up here. Up next, we have the mysterious One Night Castle, which is looking at my notes, a decently long mission. So it should be a good one. So stay tuned, and I will catch you all soon enough with that.